Kate and Meghan are all smiles as they put rumors of a rift behind them to join their husbands, the Queen and the rest of the royal family at Christmas Day church service in Sandringham. The Duchess of Cambridge and the Duchess of Sussex were all smiles today as they joined the Queen at church in Sandringham for the Christmas Day service. Kate, 36, and Meghan, 37, were greeted by adoring crowds as they made their way to St. Mary Magdalene Church, a short walk from Sandringham House on the royal family's Norfolk estate. Prince William, 36, and Harry, 34, joined their wives as they put on a united front amid rumors of a rift and mounting tensions between the two couples. It was confirmed earlier this month that the Fab Four were going to spend Christmas Day together despite claims of a falling out. Hundreds of well-wishers turned out to see the royal family, but the Duke of Edinburgh and the Duchess of Cornwall were missing. Philip and Camilla did not join the rest of the royals as they made the short walk. It is understood the Duke is in good health and will spend the day relaxing privately with his family. Camilla missed an appearance at the Olympia Horse Show last week due to a heavy cold and is believed to be still recovering from the bug. Behind the lead group strode Peter Phillips holding the hands of his daughters Savannah and Isla, and they were followed by Princess Beatrice and Peter's wife Autumn Phillips. A few meters behind were Princess Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank, who smiled at the crowds as they walked towards the church. Towards the back of the group were the Earl and Countess of Wessex with their children, Lady Louise Windsor and Viscount Severn, the Princess Royal and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence and Zara and Mike Tyndall. The Queen arrived in her state limousine with the Duke of York. During the service the congregation sang traditional carols O Little Town of Bethlehem, Hark! The herald angels sing and O come all ye faithful. Afterwards the young royals went on a brief walkabout and when Meghan saw 17-year-old Jessica holding up a small sign with her Instagram username on it, Jessica Scarlett, she instantly recognized it and gave her social media friend a hug. The teenager, from Peterborough, described the experience as amazing adding, I started watching Suits, then I started following her on social media and then followed her acting and followed her humanitarian work, so I've been a fan of her for years. There were a group of us girls on social media she became kind of close with and interacted a lot online. She said about the Duchess, who closed down her social media accounts before her marriage to Harry, this is the first time I've met her, she just said it's so lovely to meet you, incredible to finally see you and she was asking how we all are and if we're still talking and supporting each other. Meghan and Kate were given armfuls of bouquets by well-wishers as they went on a brief walkabout after the service with their husbands. Kate chatted to Jill Lee, from Cambridge, who has watched the royals attend church on Christmas Day a number of times. She said, I said to Kate were the children up early and she said very early, but it was lovely to see their faces. The 71-year-old, a retired seamstress, kissed Harry on the cheek a few years ago when he left church but this year he declined the offer, because of Meghan. She said, I said to Harry I can't kiss you this year, can I? And he said no and pointed to his wife. Rumors of the feud surfaced when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex announced they were moving out of Kensington Palace to live in Frogmore House in Windsor. There were also reports of a falling out between Meghan and Kate during Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid dress fitting before the royal wedding earlier this year. It was then hinted that the Cambridges would spend the day with the Middleton family in Berkshire, and Harry and Meghan would spend it with the Queen. However, Kensington Palace confirmed they would be celebrating the day together in what is expected to be a show of solidarity between the royals. Royal fans wait at the church each year to get a glimpse of the family to start their Christmas festivities. Many had brought bouquets of flowers or had got in the Christmas spirit by wearing Santa hats. Poised with her camera phone in the crowds was Karen Anville, 40, from Waddlington, Norfolk, who snapped the royals smiling as they left church last Christmas Day. She said the photo had been like a lottery win after she posted it on social media before a professional photographer at the church put her in touch with his agent. She said by 5 p.m. the same day, the picture had gone viral and it has since been sold to at least 50 countries. Sales of the photograph have enabled her take a year off work, clear debts and pay for a house revamp. This year the Duchess of Sussex is enjoying her first Christmas as a member of the royal family. But the American former actress is in the rare position of already having spent December 25th with the Windsors. She became the first non-married partner invited to Christmas lunch at Sandringham with the Queen in 2017. Now an HRH and a Duchess, the ex-Suits star is 7 months into her royal life, and due to give birth to a royal baby in the spring. The traditions followed by the royal family at Christmas are a little different from many households in the UK. While most people across the country open their presents on Christmas Day, the royal family still keep to the German practice of opening their gifts on Christmas Eve. Known as Heiligabendbescherung, which translates as Christmas Eve exchanging presents, the tradition was popularized by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh and other royals usually congregate in the White Drawing Room at Sandringham House the day before Christmas to put the finishing touches to a 20 feet, 6 meters, tree cut from the estate. Presents are placed on a white linen-covered trestle table, with cards marking exactly where the piles of gifts should be put. The Queen likes practical presents, but not overly extravagant ones, and the royals also reportedly like to exchange joke or non-costly quirky gifts. Kate revealed that she was left stumped over what to buy the monarch for Christmas during her first stay at Sandringham. "I thought back to what would I give my own grandparents. And I thought I'll make her something. Which could have gone horribly wrong," the Duchess said. "But I decided to make my granny's recipe of chutney. I was slightly worried about it, but I noticed the next day that it was on the table." Diana, Princess of Wales, once fell foul of the royal rules on present giving, apparently buying cashmere sweaters as her first festive royal presents, and getting joke gifts such as a loo roll holder in return. At 5 p.m., guests enjoy tea, scones, sandwiches and cakes from sideboards in the saloon. Afterwards, they dress for dinner, with the men in black tie and the women in evening gowns, with the table set with the finest china. Sarah, Duchess of York, once described the royal Christmas as exhausting, having changed outfits 7 times in 24 hours. Sometime after 10 p.m., on a signal from the Queen, the Doges are led out and the ladies adjourn, leaving the Duke of Edinburgh to serve port or brandy to the men. On Christmas Day, the royals awake to find stockings filled with small gifts and fruit at the foot of their beds. After the morning service at the Church of St. Mary Magdalene on the royal estate is a traditional event where they greet well-wishers. Back at the house, lunch is prepared by their staff and served at 1 p.m., and the royals indulge in a giant turkey, reared at Sandringham. They then settle down to watch the Queen's Christmas speech. The Queen sometimes quietly leaves the room and lets her family watch the national address by themselves, as she views it alone to see how it comes across. Boxing Day, when the royals enjoy a breakfast buffet of kedgeree, bacon and eggs, often involves outdoor pursuits such as shooting, riding and walking. In the chic midwinter, Princess Beatrice and Autumn Phillips both wear Miss Souvenir designer coats as they head to church in Sandringham with Eugenie and husband Jack Brooksbank. Dressed in chic designer coats, Princess Beatrice and Autumn Phillips joined a beaming Princess Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank at church in Sandringham for the Christmas Day service. The royals were greeted by adoring crowds as they walked towards St. Mary Magdalene Church, which is just a short walk from Sandringham House on the royal family's Norfolk estate. And they weren't the only attendees in a festive mood, with Zara and husband Mike Tyndall also beaming as they strolled past the crowds and made their way to the church. Beatrice and Autumn Phillips were both dressed in Miss Souvenir designer coats, complete with sleek hats, while Eugenie opted for a more seasonal look in a red dress striped with an elaborate black pattern. Meanwhile, Prince Edward and Sophie Wessex, dressed in a stylish light blue coat, were joined by their children Lady Louise and a nervous-looking James, Viscount Severn. Sporting a substantial hat, Princess Anne opted for a slightly darker turquoise look and attended alongside her husband Timothy Lawrence. They joined the Queen and Prince Charles at the traditional Christmas service, along with the Dukes and Duchesses of Cambridge and Sussex. Missing from the service were the Duke of Edinburgh and the Duchess of Cornwall. Philip and Camilla did not join the rest of the royals as they made the short walk, It is understood the Duke is in good health and will spend the day relaxing privately with his family. Camilla missed an appearance at the Olympia Horse Show last week due to a heavy cold and is believed to be still recovering from the bug.